Hi, konnichiwa. Today I'm talking about Jesus, the life of Jesus Christ. I'd like to follow him. His records are in the four Gospels. The writers were his three direct disciples and one grandson disciple. Really very little record of his deeds were passed on by the four Gospels that these men made up. In those Gospels, he was born in Bethlehem, around Galilee Lake. The description when he was 13 years old is the last, until he was returned to his home in Israel again and baptized by John in the Jordan River when he was 30 years old. These 17 years are all missing. It was only 3 years after that he preached in the Israel area, centered on Lake Galilee. And finally, he went to the palace in Israel, and he was captured at Gethsemane and crucified. He spent his life in this way. He disappeared from history at the age of 33, but after that, according to Sai Baba in India, he lived to be nearly 80 years old and acted in North India mainly. We'd like to follow in his footsteps. It may be hard for strict Christians to admit that. Scriptures on Jesus remain in many places in India. Even from the prophecies of Agastya, it was said that Jesus went to South India. Based on those, this time, I'd like to build a lecture on it. Yes, it's a journey through the life of Jesus. In this first installment, we're going to look at Jesus' training period. I'd like to follow the first half of the 17 years that were missing. This is the scene of Jesus' birth, which the doctors have come and are blessing. On the screen is his father, John. Jesus was born in Bethlehem. John and his mother, Mary, were living in a town called Nazareth in the north of Israel. Nazareth is a very rural area. According to information from Talking, it's a small community of about 300 people now. He lived in a cave. In those days, the people in that area lived in caves. Joseph's cave, Maria's family's cave, and caves for somebody else. He lived in a cave. And his father, Joseph, is mentioned as a carpenter. When we say carpenter in Japan, we recall a man with a planer and hammer who is going to stand up the lumber and build a house. The carpenters over there are stonecutters, plasterers. They make various platforms in the caves. Basically, they cut the stones and pile them up. Stone is the center of their culture over there. That's why the Japanese translation of the Bible is quite different. The scene you see right now also differs. He was born in a cave. The Japanese translation says that he was born in a stable. I also went there. 3 or 4 big caves were connecting very long. At the end of it, they piled up the straw, and he was born. At the time, there was a population census. Joseph has a journey took about 4 or 5 days, setting Maria on a donkey. From the village of Nazareth, Joseph went to the temple of Israel and registered for a census there. Then, she went into labor, and he found a birthplace to stay. But he didn't have any, so they were in a big horse cave. They are allowed to use the edge of it, and that's where Jesus was born. And there, the doctors from the east found out that a great Savior is born by astrology. At first, they went somewhere else. They went to the king. They found he wasn't there. Then they were led there by a mysterious star. They got to the cave where Jesus was born on the outskirts of Bethlehem. This is the scene where they are blessing the newborn Jesus.
はい、この絵はですね、イエスがですね、ナザレ村に帰って、
This is the cave house of his father, Joseph, where Jesus was given a lesson from him, having get back to the village of Nazareth and sitting at the table. His mother, Mary, is on the left.
で、この前にですね、もともとユダヤ人にはですね、
Before this,
自分たちの中から
the Jews had a prophecy that one Messiah would come out of them and shepherd the people of Israel. I'm going to read that to you. You, Bethlehem, the land of Una, you'll never be the fattest in all towns of Una, for one great ruler will come out of you and shepherd my people, Israel. At the time of Jesus' birth, a king named Herod ruled the Jewish kingdom of Israel. The huge Mediterranean Empire at that time was ruled by Rome. Israel, which is in this empire, was a small country of very rebellious Jewish people that was unruly. It is now a terrorist organization. Rome says there were several such groups among these Israelites who went against what Rome said. And from the east country, the doctors came to Jerusalem at the time of King Herod first. They said to him, "Where is Christ, the King of the Jews, who is born this time? Because we saw his star go out in astrology, we went to worship him." So King Herod was afraid that such a great king would be born and steal this Israel from him. And he sent a team to track where these doctors were going. Consequently, he found out that they went to Bethlehem. And he was convinced that Christ had been born there, and he killed all the children born in Bethlehem who were under 2 years old. To be escaped from his difficulties, an angel came out of a dream of Jesus' father, John, and told him to flee to Egypt. He received that kind of prophecy. And in the meantime, this family was fleeing to Egypt. And again the angel came to John's dream, and he told him to go back because it was okay. This picture shows that when they got back to Nazareth, where they started living in peace. Yes, a man named King Herod, who was ruling over Israel at the time, he was a warlord of warlords. He killed almost all of his family to accede to the throne. So, he was a very fierce or relentless man.
Sathya Sai Baba
said that Jesus was a very bright child in Jerusalem at the age of 17. The reputation that he was the Messiah had been established throughout Israel, and it became a threat to his life. When he was 17 years old, supporters of Jesus added boy Jesus with a caravan. They sent out on a journey to North India, that is said. Sathya Sai Baba said, when he was 17 years old, Jesus went on a journey with a merchant group to North India first. It says that he went into northern India.
で、最後ですね、イエスが
By
で
the
すね、
end, Jesus was 76 years
80 歳
old.
になって、
Sathya Sai Baba also said he passed away here in Lahore at near the age of 80 years old.
で、このあたりにはです
They
ね、
say that his life of that age is still in the books that have been written about him.
はい。
Yes.
で、一茶伝っていうのはですね、チベットに
There is a Tibetan tradition
あ
called
るらしくて、それによるとですね、
Isobiography,
イエスは
according
最
to
初ですね、
which Jesus
この
first came into
北インドで
North
すね、
India.
入ってきて、いろんな先生について
It's
3
said
年
that
ぐら
he
いですね、ヨ
followed
ガ
his
ですね、
teacher
ヨ
there
ガ
and
を学ん
studied
でいた
yoga
っていう
for
ふうに
about
言わ
3
れています。
years.
イエ
Jesus
スが
used
使っ
psychic
た
powers
長
or
の
divine
人水力です
powers.
ね、あれはもう完全にインドの
That
で
is
すね、
totally
容器を
those used
使う
by Indian yoga.
人水力です
For
ね、物を
example,
物質化したりとかですね、
materializing the nothingness,
水の
walking
宿
on
り
water
と
or
か
making
ですね、
predictions.
予言とかですね、はい。サティアサイバとかアガスティアとか使っているこういうもので
This
す
is
ね。
what Sathya Sai Baba
で、
and
その後です
Agastya
ね、
and
イエス
others
はですね、
used.
仏教
Then
の
Jesus
一切
began
教
to
です
read the
ね、
Buddhists
当
all
時はですね、イエ
sutras.
スの来た頃は、ちょうど統一されたマガダ国が
It's
滅
said that
亡
the
し
age
て、
that Jesus was
で、
living was when the United
ちょうどで
Magadha
すね、経
kingdom
典
had
がで
just
すね、
fallen,
パーリー語とサンスクリット
and
語
the
が訳
scriptures
さ
had
れた
been
ものが
interpreted to those of
経
Pali
典に
and
なって、
Sanskrit and had
ち
been
ょうど流布されてい
disseminated.
た時代と言われています。で、そのイエスはですね、
When Jesus
仏教の
becomes
お
aware
釈迦
of the
様の
Buddha's
教えに
teachings,
気がつ
he
くと、
begins to
一
read the
切経を読
entire
み始め
all
ますね、全
sutras.
体を。で、その中でですね、法華経に当然気がついて、
Doing
そ
so,
れに
he
気がつく
notices the
と、
Lotus Sutra,
ヨーガなんかも全部
and
捨て
he
ちゃ
throw
っ
away
て、
yoga and
経
the all
典を
other
持っ
things,
て、
and
法華
just
経だけ
taking
持っ
it.
て、そしてですね、ヒマラヤのですね、
He went
人
into
の
a
いないエ
secluded
リアに
area
入
of
って
the
いったり
Himalayas
とか言い
when
ます
he
ね、
was
20
20
歳。
years old, that is
それで
said.
5年間ですね、昼間
So
は
for
法華
5
経を読ん
years,
では瞑
he
想
lived
し、
a life of
法華経を読んで
meditation
は
and
瞑
reading
想
the
し、
Lotus
こういう生
Sutra
活を
during the
5年
day.
間続けて、そして25歳の時に、
Then, at the age of
悟りを開い
25,
て、
he attained
で自分はで
enlightenment.
すね、旧
He
約聖書の
realized that
メ
he
シ
was
ア
the
であると
Messiah
いう
in
こ
the
とに
Old
気
Testament.
がついたと言いますと。しかし旧約聖書ではですね、メ
But
シア
in
は
the
です
Old
ね、最
Testament,
初に無敵
after the
の神
Messiah
通力を
first
人民に
demonstrated his invincible divine
示した
power
後
to
に
the
ですね、
people,
犬のように、弟
he
子
would
たち
be
から裏切
betrayed
ら
and
れ、
killed
そ
by
して
the
殺され
disciples
て、
like a dog,
そして鞭打たれ、
and
そ
then
して十
flogged
字
and
架に上げ
lifted
ら
up
れ
on a
て、晒
cross
し
to
者
be
にされ
exposed.
て、
Then
それ
after
から
3
3
days
日
of
間、
death,
死んで、それで復活して、その
by
姿を弟子
resurrecting
た
and
ちに見せ
showing
る
his
ことがで
image
き
to his
て、
disciples,
弟子
he
たち
would
も無
turn
敵
his
の菩薩
disciples
に
into invincible
帰
bodhisattvas.
ると。こういう人生をですね、
He understood that life in
一
an
瞬で
instant
悟
and
りま
hated
し
it.
て、そ
He
の人
especially
生は嫌だ
disliked
と
the
思うんですね、
idea of
殺され
being
るのってい
killed.
うのが。でですね、アガスタの予言によると、そこから
And then,
南、25歳
according
に
to
南インド
Agastia's
に行ってで
prophecy,
すね、
when he was 25
ここで
years
ですね、
old, he went to South India.
5年近く、こう、
He was living here to escape from reality
逃
for
亡、
nearly 5
逃避生
years.
活をしていたって言いますね。しかしですね、また考え直して、やはりメシアと
But
し
he
ての一生を
reconsidered
過ご
and
す。
decided to spend his life as the Messiah
神の
and
御
to live
心
a
にかなう
lifetime in
死を送ろう
accordance
という
with
こと
God's
に
will.
決断して、またずっと北インドからですね、
And then,
こ
he
の
returned to
イエルサレム
Jerusalem
に
from
戻った
North
っていう
India.
ふうに予言
That
で
is
は
what
出てきました。
Agastia's prophecy says.
はい。で、ネパールですね、チベットに伝わるです
And
ね、一茶
according
伝
to
とい
the
うのがあるらしい
Tibetan
んで
book
すけど、そ
called
の本によるとですね、
Isobiography,
イエスはですね、
Jesus went around
カピラバクティ
Kapilavastu,
とか、ラージャグ
gridlock
リ
in
ですね、
Rajagulia,
グ
where
リ
the
ッドラ
Buddha
クトお
taught
釈迦
the
様の法華
Lotus
経を説いたと
Sutra.
ころですね。あと、ベナレス、書店法輪お釈迦様をおっしゃる
And
です
then
ね。
there's
そう
where
いっ
the
たと
Buddha
ころを
did
ですね、
his
観
first
光で
turning
回
of
っ
the
たりし
wheel
て、そして巡
for
礼ですね。
sightseeing or
して、
pilgrimage.
それで、そういう
It
時
says
間
that
も
he
過ごしたってい
spended
うふうに
that
書いてあ
kind
り
of
ますね。
time.
ですから、イエスの人生にとってです
So
ね、
for
釈
Jesus'
迦と法
life,
華経っていう
the
のはです
Buddha
ね、
and the Lotus
彼の人
Sutra
生
are
の
the
中で一
biggest
番大
thing
きな
in
も
his
のです
life.
ね。はい。それが全然
That's not
聖
at
書
all
には
what the
伝わってないん
Bible
ですけ
tells
ど、
us, but
5
if
番
there
目
would
ので
be a
すね、
world
シ
or
モ
an
ン・ペテロ
era from
の
which the
福
fifth
音なんかも
gospel
し
of
も出てく
Simon
る
Peter comes out,
世界や時代があったとしたら、そこにはそれ全て
descriptions
書
of
いてあり
them
ま
would
す
be
ね。
all there.
はい。はい。当時のですね、イ
This is
エ
the
スが修行
landscape
時
that
代にです
Jesus
ね、
saw
イ
in
ンドで見
India
た
at the
風
time
景
of
で
his
すね。
training.
こういっ
This is
た
the
ですね、
kind
風
of
景を多分イ
landscape
エスは
that
見てで
Jesus
すね、
saw.
こんなですね、村々が
There would have been villages like this one,
食べ物の
meals,
こういう
the
ですね、
food of South
ニー
India,
ルスですね、南インドに行った時なんか、
and in northern
北インドで
India,
はター
it's
リですね、
Thali.
こういうものを手で食べ
Jesus
て
also
いい
ate
です。
these things with his
で、こ
hands.
ういうお寺なんかも
I
南インド
know
で
he
見て
saw
ま
these
したし、
temples in
同
South
じ
India.
タンプ
There
に
must
書い
have
てある
been
でしょうね、
many
こういうサル
sadhus,
なんか。
too.
で、こういうゴマ炊き
Jesus
の
would
儀式
have
ですね、
seen
こ
these
ういったもの
goma
も
burning
見てですね、いい
ceremonies
です。
and things
は
like
い。
that.
でも仏教
And
のです
after
ね、
he
経
noticed
典、
the
法華
Buddhist
経に気がつくと
scriptures,
もそれしか
especially the Lotus Sutra, those
興
became
味な
all
く
he
なり
was
ますね。
interested in.
イエスレベルの人だと。でもそれ
If
し
they
か
are
もう、
Jesus level persons, that
読
will
み
be
ま
all
せ
they
ん
read
し、
anymore.
当時ですね、イエスはですね、ヘブライ語、
The Jews of his day spoke
アラム語
Hebrew,
このあたりを
Greek, and
話していただき
Aramaic,
ますけど、当時のユダ
etc.
ヤ人たちっていうのは、さらにイエスの場合、パーリー語、
In addition,
さらに
learning
サンスク
over
リット
some
あ
years,
たりまで
Jesus would be able to
読む
read
こと
even
が
Pali
でき
and
るようになったんでしょ
Sanskrit.
うね。何年間かかけて。はい。ですから、ヘブライ語でですね、その後ですね、イエスっていうのはですね、父上って言ってですね、
And then
仏の
Jesus
ことを言
says,
うんですけど、
Father, Father,
まあ、
which is a reference to the Buddha.
ヘブライ語でですからね、ヘブライ語では、
Father is Yahweh in
ヤーブっ
Hebrew.
てですね、ヤーベ。ですが、ヤーベっていうのはです
For the
ね、
Japanese,
日本
it
人から
looks like
と
the
ユダヤ
Jews
人
are
は神
saying
様って言
God,
ってたんです
God,
けど、ヤ
but
ーベっていう
actually
のは
it
実は
means
お父
Father,
さんっ
Father.
て意味なんです。イエスはですから、
Jesus,
仏のことをですね、
therefore,
いつも
always referred to
ヤ
the
ーベ
Buddha as
っていうふうに
Yahweh.
こう呼んでま
The
したね。
Hebrew word for
で
God
ヘブ
is
ライ語で神様
Elohim.
のことはですね、エ
So
ロ
he
ヒムって言うんです。
said
エロヒム。
Father instead of God.
ですから、神って言葉は使わないで、父上って言ってました。この
This
父上って
word,
言葉はですね、
Father, comes
ヤー
from
ベって言
Dr.
葉は、
Father's metaphor in
法
the
華経
chapter
の
of
如来受領本のですね、
the
中の
lifetime of the
医者のお
Tathagata
父
of the
さんの例
Lotus
えから来
Sutra.
てますね。はい。医者のお父さんがです
The
ね、
Dr.
まあ、
Father was raising his
子供た
children.
ちを育てて
He
いたと。
was using the
法
Lotus
華経を
Sutra
です
to
ね、宇宙の
reveal the
始まりをです
beginning of the
ね、
universe.
なんでこの
In
世界
other
が生まれた
words,
のかを説き
why
明か
this
していたん
world
ですけ
came
ど、
into
そ
being.
れを経典に残して去ってしまったと。
But
で、
he
子供
left
た
it
ち
in
はお
the
父さんがいなく
scripture
なった
and
から
went
悲しん
away.
で、だけ
The
どお父
kids
さん
were
が残して
sad
くれ
about their
て、
dad's absence,
学べといっ
but
て
they
この教導を
desperately
一生懸
learned
命
the
学ん
Lotus
だんですけ
Sutra
ど、
that he left.
それを薬としてですね、学んだ子供はですね、
The children who just studied the
ちゃん
Lotus
と成
Sutra
長
as a
して、
medicine grew up
い
to
い
become Tathagatas.
如来になったと。
At that
その
time,
頃ちょう
his
ど
father
お父さ
came
んが帰っ
home.
てきま
He
したと。
divided the
で、
children
ちゃ
into
んと
two
学んだいい
groups,
子供
the
と
good
学
ones
ば
who
ない
had learned well
悪い
and
子
the
供に
bad
分けた
ones
と。
who hadn't.
この如来受領本の
Jesus
ですね、
later
例
called
えば、
Tathagata of this
仏の
example
こと
in
をイ
the
エスは
chapter
後
of
に、
the lifetime
ヤー
of the
フェって言うん
Tathagata,
ですね。
Yahweh.
はい、
He
父
also
上。
called him
エ
Father.
ロヒムって言
He
葉を
did
使い
not
ません
use
で
the
した。
word Elohim.
はい。はい。これはですね、チベ
Yes,
ットエリアの
this
で
is a
すね、
picture
写
of,
真で
you
すね。
know, the
はい。
Tibetan area.
考えてみますね、イエスの
If you
大体
think about
80
it,
年の人生
roughly
のですね、
3/4
4
of the
分の
80
3です
years
ね、
of Jesus'
60年
life,
は
he lived in
インド
India
で
and
過ごしてま
Tibet
す
for
ね、チベ
60
ットと。
years.
ですから彼の人生にとってはですね、本当にイスラエルで暮らした
So for
時代っ
him,
ていうの
the
は
period of time
か
he
なり
really
短く
lived
て、
in
むしろ
Israel
こ
was
ういう
quite short
文化の
and
中
rather
で
lived in this kind of
暮らして
cultural
ましたね、風景
landscape.
の中で。で、後にですね、彼の弟子の、
It's his disciple,
この人で
this
すね、
man
こ
below.
のピリポって言うんですけども、ピリポ。
His name is Philippa.
この人はですね、マドラス
This
で死ん
guy
でますね、
died in
インドで。
Madras, India.
はい。
Jesus was looking
で、
at these
こういう仏
Buddhist
教遺跡
monuments
なんか
too.
もイエスは見てました
He
ね。
was
そう
looking
と、
at this
こういう
kind
風
of
景を見
scenery.
て、して菩薩ですね。如来と菩
The
薩の関
relationship
係、
between
なんで
Buddha and
何もない真
Bodhisattva.
空にビッグバンが
Why
起きたの
did
か
the
をで
Big
すね、
Bang happen in a
法華経から
vacuum?
解き明かしてですね。
By
それ
unraveling
で
the
悟り
Lotus
になります
Sutra,
ね。
he reached
で、大
enlightenment.
体、このチベットにいた時はこういう袈裟衣を着た仏教徒たちとですね、一緒に過ごしてた
When
の
he
で、
was in Tibet,
こうい
he
う
spent
人たち
most
と
of
一緒
my
にいる時
time with
間がです
Buddhists
ね、
and souls
彼
like
にとっ
these.
ては
When
至
he
福
was
の
with these people was
最
the
高
best
の
time for
時
him to
間
be
でしたね。
blissfully happy.
はい。ですから、我々の多分思ってるイエスのイメージと西
So
洋
it's an
的な
Eastern life
彼
that's
の
very
人生っていう
different from
のは
our
全く
Western
違う
image
東
of
洋的な
Jesus.
人生ですね。はい。
With
瞑想
meditation
と、そして法華経
and the
と、
Lotus
そ
Sutra
して、悟
and
りですね。
enlightenment.
彼の脳裏にはこういう言葉
Well,
が
he
続いてあり
always
ます
had
ね。
these words in his mind.
仏教、
Buddha,
釈迦、
Buddhism,
シャーリプト
Shakyamuni,
ラ、モッカ
Shariputra,
ーラーナ、プーナみ
Maudgalyayana,
たいな人とか。
Purnamatrianiputra.
はい。
So,
で
in
すからイエスを理
understanding
解する上
Jesus,
でさ、
it is important to
今こう
understand
映っ
the
てるような
Buddhist
こう仏
culture,
教
as
文
shown
化、
in the
あ
picture
とヒンドゥー
now,
文化っ
and
て
when
いう
you
ものをです
understand
ね、
this thing called
理解
Indian
するとで
culture,
すね、彼が語った
you
言
will
葉ですね、
make out
後
the
に
words that were put
聖書に
together
求
in
め
the
られてくる。
Bible after he
ま
spoke,
た
and the divine
彼
power
が
that he achieved
成し遂げ
all
た人
these
物
things.
的、こういったものの全てがですね、わかります。ですからむしろインドの中にこ
So
そ
rather
イエ
in
スの
India,
教えの本質的な理解する、
there are a lot of
ヒントで
hints
す
to
ね、それが
understand
た
the
くさんありま
essence
す
of
ので、
Jesus' teachings.
はい。はい。
This
この
landscape would
風
be like
景なんてい
looking
う
at
のは
his
イ
own
エスにとって
hometown,
一番
which
懐
is
か
the
しい自
just
分
one
の
that
故郷
Jesus
を見てる
missed
よう
the
な
most.
風景でしょう。これヒマラヤなんですけど、
This is the
夏の
Himalayas in
で
the
すね、
summer. To
彼に
him,
とっては
this
です
vast
ね、
land
こ
of
のインドの広
India.he
大な地、
became
チベッ
enlightened
ト
while
の
looking
広
at the
大な
vast
山脈
mountains
を
of
見ながら
Tibet.
こう
And
悟り
for
に出た
him,
彼にとっては、むしろイスラエルですね。ああいう
rather,
ところはもう辺境なユダヤ人たちがこう凝り
Israel and
固まった
places like that,
小さな
where
コミュニ
insular
ティ社
Jews
会
are
で、
entrenched in a small community
しかもこう
society,
彼から
from
見る
his
と
point
こ
of view,
う、もう
it's
終わ
one
ってしまっ
culture that's
た
already
一つ
finished.
の 文化ですね。はい。そこにイスラエル
There
の
was an Israeli palace there
宮殿
and
があった
so
り
on.
して、こ
And
う、
that was also
そこ
where
が
it's
またローマに
dominated
支
by
配され
Rome
ていると。
again,
そういっ
and
た
that
ものは非
kind
常
of
に
thing
スト
was
レスに
very
なりましたね。
stressful.
はい。彼はですね、宇
He
宙
knew
の
that the
始まり、
beginning of
な
the
んで何
universe,
もないし、
why
急
did
に
the Big
ビ
Bang
ッグ
happen
バン
in
が
a
起きて、
vacuum of
今
nothing,
地球
and
が、
now the
自
Earth
分
and
が
we
こ
are
こに
here?
いるのか。そしてこ
And
の法
he
華経を
read
読ん
this
で、
Lotus Sutra, 9-dimensional
9次元構
structure,
造、
infinite
1年
parallel
3000の無
universes
限
of
の平行宇
3,000
宙、
ideas,
そして
vacuum,
真空
land
仏
of the
法
Buddha,
と、そ
and
して
the
欲界
three-world
という、
structure called the greedy
三
world,
回構造ですね。
understanding
こ
of
ういった
these
ものを理
things.
解して、
And he
そ
talked
して
with
もう
the
天人た
celestial
ち、
beings and
精
the
霊たちと
spirits.
話をして
He
ました
also
ね。
does
菩
so
薩
with
や
bodhisattvas
天
and
人
angels
や
and
天使たち
beings like that.
で、しかし彼はですね、
But
幼
he
い頃から
knew
学んでい
from
た
his
旧約聖書
childhood
で、
studies in
自
the
分は
Old
この
Testament.
ユダヤ文化圏の人間であ
He
り、
was a
そこ
man
で
of Jewish
この
culture
教えを
where
説
he
い
had
て、
to
そ
preach,
して
and
十
by
字架に
being
上げられることによ
crucified,
って、その教えが世界
his
中に広
teachings
まる
will
と。
be spread
こ
around
れ
the
を
world.
この
This is
時
what he understood
彼
at
は
the
理解して
time.
ましたね。彼の有名な言葉で、
His famous
一
words,
粒の麦は
a
地に
grain
落
of
ち
wheat
て
must
死なれ
fall
ば、
to the
いつま
ground
で
and
も
die,
一
or it
粒
will
で
always be a
ある
grain,
と。
and so
だか
I
ら
will lay
私は
down
こ
my
の命を
life.
捨てると。この世
Those
の
who
命
adore the
を
life
可
of
愛が
this
る者
world
は
will lose
永
their
遠の
eternal
命を
life,
失い、
and only
こ
those
の世
who
の
hate
命
the
を
life
憎
of
む
this
者だけ
world
が
will enter
永遠
into
の命に
eternal
入る。
life.
こういうこと
These
を
are
述
the
していま
kind
す
of
ね。
words he
これ
left
だけが完
behind.
全に釈
This
迦
is
の教
something
え
that
から
comes
来ていることで
completely
す
from
ね。
the Buddha's
はい。
teaching.
彼はですね、それで30歳ぐらいま
After
でですね、
Jesus wandered
イ
around
ンドを
India
放浪
until
し
he
た
was
後で
about
すね、やっ
30
ぱり予
years
期
old,
して、
willingly, he returned to
再
the
びイス
land
ラエ
of
ルに住む
Israel
ことです
again.
ね。はい。そして世
And he
界
will
に教
challenge
えが
his
広まる
destiny
って
to
いう
spread
運
his
命に
teachings throughout the
挑戦
world.
することになります。ここでイエスの修
This
行
is
時
the
代って
end
いう
of
のが終わりま
Jesus'
すね。
apprenticeship.
はい。